Hello children, good morning to all of you. This is Manik sir going to present before you a new topics from physical educations of class 11th, and the name of the topic is training and doping in games. Dear children, as we know that in today's sports and games, it is very important to have training, because sports is a specialized field which requires to have many kind of training, and after training we can have a better performance in sports activity. So dear students, without having a proper training or specific training, the sportsmen are not going to have a better performance in sports activity, because it is the sports training which provides a better results to the sportsman. Through the process of training, the sportsmen, they are given different kind of knowledge, different kind of theoretical knowledge, different kind of activities, and through that they are becoming equipped and performing a good sports activity while they are doing different kind of sports activity in the society. So each sports activity, it requires to have a physical fitness, and how the sportsmen are going to achieve the physical fitness, it is only through the programs of training, and with the programs of training, the physical fitness the sportsmen are going to achieve. Without having the physical training, the sportsmen, they will not be able to achieve the physical fitness, because the physical fitness, which is very important in sports activity, and when the sports activity is there, then the sportsman, he or she needs to have a special kind of training to maintain the physical fitness, and without having the physical fitness, the sportsman's performance will not be very effective while he or she is being engaged in different kind of sports activity. So dear students, here through the sports training, here the sportsmen are guided to have safe ways of physical activity. So through the training process, the players, they are trained properly to play different kind of sports in a very effective ways, and after playing different kind of sports and games in a very effective ways, they are doing different kind of activities in the society. As we see that the physical activities which are very important in the society, and how, because there is sports training which the sportsmen are given, and here through that training they are guided properly to have a very effective ways of physical activity. So nowadays in sports as well as in different kind of games, as we see that the competitions is very tough, and in these competitions, as we see that the best training methods which will help the sportsmen to develop in a very effective ways, and when the sportsmen are doing the sports activities in a very effective ways, it is only because of having a proper training. So here the training is very important. Without having the training, the sportsmen, they shall not be performing a very best performance while they are playing different kind of games as well as sports in international level, as well as at national level, as well as at in state level. So, dear children, when the players as well as the sportsmen are being engaged in different kind of sports activity, they are using the drugs, and here the drugs are life-saving as well as the life-threatening. Why? Because in order to have a better performance, the sportsmen are using different kind of drugs. As we see that to improve the performance in sports, the drugs are used, which is named as doping in sports. So students, as we see that the drugs are strictly banned. Why? Because it is having a very negative side effects. And here the drugs, why the sportsmen are using? To have or to enhance the better performance in sports activity. The drugs are used by the sportsmen. So dear children, as we see that the International Olympic Committee, they have recommended only for the natural sources of diet, which is very essentials for the sportsmen. Already I have told you, my dear children, that the drugs which are used by the sportsmen to increase the better performance in sports activity, but the drugs are having very negative side effects. And what is that negative side effects? It is a life-threatening. Why it is a life-threatening? Because all these medicines and drugs which is having both positive as well as the negative side effects. That is why the International Olympic Committee, they have strictly banned to use those kind of drugs in sports as well as in different kind of games activity. Why? Because it is having a very negative impact to all the sportsmen in the society. So, dear children, the Olympic Committee has suggested and recommended to all the sportsmen to use the natural diet to maintain the physical fitness or to maintain the physical body, so that the sportsmen will be having a great fitness while they are performing the different kind of activities in sports as well as in games. So dear children, let us discuss the meaning as well as the concept of training. What is called training? So here the word training means it is giving the practical as well as the theoretical knowledge. So through the process of training, the sportsmen, the players, they are given the theoretical knowledge, the practical knowledge before they come into these sports activity. They are given proper training to have a better performance in playing different kind of games as well as different kind of sports activity. So dear children, here the training methods, it is a long-term process which is enhancing the sports activity in the society. So without having a proper training, dear children, the sportsmen, they are not going to have a better performance in the society. It is through proper training, proper theoretical knowledge, proper activity, they are equipped and they are taught to become a best players in the sports activity. And when the training is given, they are equipped and they are becoming a good player to have a better performance in the sports activity. So dear students, I was telling you about the importance of games as well as the sports activity. So in sports as well as in games, the training is very important. Without training, the players, they are not going to be a equipped persons, because through training process they are learning so many things which will help them to become a successful player. As we see that the training methods which are based upon different kind of systematic ways, which is having various aspects in life, that is such as the individual care, the specific fitness of body, the scientific ways, the psychological feedback, the technical help, the good machines and apparatus, the considering climatic conditions, the diet as well as the safety means. So all these training methods which is very important, and here the players as well as the sportsmen, they are very essentials to learn all these concepts before they are going to play different kind of sports as well as different kind of games activity. So dear students, during the time of playing games, it requires to develop the basic skills, the techniques, the tactics, the strategies, the emotional stabilities, the all these strategies which are very important during the time of performing different kind of competitions, because while we are doing different kind of competitions and engaging in different kind of sports activities, it requires to develop the different kind of skills, the techniques, the strategies, the emotional stabilities, because while we are playing different kind of sports and activity, during that time when we are losing the matches, losing the games, sometimes it is leading us to have negative attitude. So when we have proper training, it will always boost us and develop us to lead a very positive attitude, a very positive emotional stability, which will help us to perform well while we are doing different kind of sports activities in the nations as well as in our society. So dear students, as we have some definitions which are given with you, and those definitions are, according to Matthew, the sports trainings, it is the basic form of preparations of a sportsman. So according to Matthew, what he says that sports training, it is the basic form of preparations for a sportsman. According to Martin, as we see that it is a planned and controlled process of achieving goals, in which the changes of motor performance and behavior are in more through measures of content, methods and organizations. So dear students, here these two definitions which help us to understand in a very effective ways, and it says that according to Matthew, sports training, which is very important. Why? Because it is a form of preparations. So my dear children, by the concluding, I would like to tell you that the training is very important. Without training, the sportsman is not going to perform very well while they are engaging in different kind of sports activity. That is why training is very important in sports as well as in games. Thank you so much for listening.